How's it going, all you bookworms out there? Alex here with a big, and I mean big, horror book recommendation just in time for spooky season, which has come and gone, but still. King Sorrow by Joe Hill is a damn masterpiece. I was so hyped about this book that I actually asked the lovely people at Headline Books UK for it, and I got the positive answer in like 5 minutes. By the way, thank you, Headline Books and Caitlin Rayner. This is an experience that I will never forget. King Sorrow tells the story of six friends who are in college, and they are in deep trouble because one of them has a mom in prison, and he gets into a deal with some shady people who have him steal rare books from the library of Rackham College in Maine, where he's one of the few black students. So that book contains a ritual which is supposed to summon a dragon who can fulfill the wish of anyone who wields the book. But the catch is that the dragon is actually a demon, and for every wish fulfilled, he requires human sacrifice every Easter. So there's a deep but very subtle theological thread that runs throughout the book. And let me tell you, Joe Hill is such a masterful storyteller that what starts off as basically a screwball horror comedy situation quickly veers off into Hollywood blockbuster territory with air disasters and stuff. Then there's this huge section of the book where they go into the cave of a troll in Wales, and it sounds like a Harry Potter meets Indiana Jones type of situation. Then there's a lot of commentary about trolls, both literal and figurative ones, which are one and the same. You'll see how and why that works so well in this book. It was one of the most brilliant twists out there, and I was very surprised to see that Mr. Hill is quite knowledgeable about Romanian culture for an American. I mean, when you think of Romania and Hollywood and America, the one thing that springs to mind is Dracula, right? Dracula and vampires and Transylvania and that stuff that's become a cliche. Well, Mr. Hill refers to a book by Mircea Eliade, our foremost expert on religion and mythology, because one of the characters reads The Sacred and the Profane, one of his treatises on religion and mythology, in order to find out how to defeat the dragon. And speaking of religion, the dragon is revealed to have been behind the massacre of innocents and some of the crusades and a lot of disasters in human history which culminated with massacres. You know, he makes those who commit massacres drink his tears and then take their own lives. And yeah, it's definitely one of those stories where there's multiple levels to it. You know, it's like a cake that is very dense and rich and multi-layered. Mr. Hill is born to be a storyteller. And if you fear the future of horror, put that fear at ease, because this guy definitely knows what he's doing, and this book shows it in spades. The humor is there, and it's so sharp and witty and nuanced. You care about every character. You despise the bad guys. You desperately want the good guys to win. But then you see the good guys might not be so good, and the bad guys have reasons for which they're so messed up, and the villain himself is such a treat to read. You know, he's this all-powerful kind of trickster demon meets fire-breathing dragon with a penchant for riddles and wordplay and all that lovely stuff. Imagine Smaug meets the Riddler in the Batman universe meets Hannibal Lecter. That's about scratching the surface of this hellish villain that I have honestly never seen before. I have read a lot of evil dragon stories, you know. In Romania it's quite common for fairy tales to feature the evil dragon, the Zmeu or the Balaur kind of character. Well, Joe Hill takes this thing and he amps it all the way up to 111%, and I'm all the richer for having experienced this. I loved how the villain is defeated with the blood of saints and martyrs and stuff. Like I said, I'm a sucker for deep, nuanced, theologically grounded horror because I'm a devout Christian, and I always like to see spirituality being explored in worldly contexts. Mr. Hill is very nuanced and very wicked as a storyteller, and let me show you how referential his work really is. I'm going to read a bit. The dark man fled across the snow, and Arthur Oakes followed. They each had a job to do. Although Arthur was only vaguely aware of what was expected of the others, music and courtiers for the king, a proclamation to announce his arrival, incense to honor the royal presence, Arthur was required to prepare the king's meal, which meant catching the dark man who was carrying it. It didn't look like he was carrying anything, but he had it on him. Arthur knew it. So this references the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, and there's a lot of other references to books and films and music. The whole thing is drenched in literature and pop culture. It's a tribute to the power of stories and the reason we tell stories and how they can be used for good, for evil, for everything in between. You know, the kind of thing where you say be careful what you wish for because you just might get it? Well, this is the most in-depth exploration of this idiomatic expression, and Joe Hill has created his masterpiece. I have read both Fireman and Nosferatu in translation, and this is my first Hill book in English. I also have the Lock and Key Compendium, and I'll be reviewing that as well. And yeah, it's an unforgettable experience. Once again, many thanks to Headline Books, Ms. Rayner, and this one gets all the stars in the universe. And I wish you the best. Peace out, and thanks for watching.